Hi, my name is Deborah Fowler, and we're going to take a brief look at the instancer node in USD. So I'm going to go to the Solaris desktop, and in here I have a stage. Now there's lots of ways that I could create this. I'm going to create a circle of spheres as an example, and I could do this in SOPs and import that into the stage, but let's go ahead and create it here. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring down a sphere, and I'm going to create a copy to points node. Now, in the SOP context, this would normally be your input for the points you're copying to, and this would be the object that you copy. But this is a little different. This is an instancer node, so it's similar to the instance node that we have in SOPs. However, it's a little different. So if you've watched my video on the other ways of copying nodes in SOPs previous to Houdini 18, they're all great, and there are some similarities. Let's go ahead and create this one. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this as the object that I'm going to copy, my prototype source, and then in here, I'm going to create the points that I'm copying to, so similar to an instance node. I'm going to delete that add node and go ahead and create a circle. So now, change this to polygon, and you can see I have my circle. I create 36 spheres and make this a larger circumference and make this open arc. And if I center on that, you can see now I have a circle of spheres. So two things I want to concentrate on today. One is copy to points as an instancer node, and also randomize attributes. So how do we vary this? Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to create an attribute randomize. And by default, this will randomize the color. So if I go back up here, you can see that Karma is trying to render. I've set that up so that I've got Karma beta on, and I'm rendering at, let's do 2 pixels, make it fast. And I've got gray spheres. And the reason is we need to change something in here. We need to copy point attributes. So now we have color. Let's go back inside and change the size. Again, attribute randomize. And we know that p-scale will control that size. We go ahead and set that. Maybe change the minimum to 2. And now we have our p-scale changing. And the reason that is because set scale is set by default. You can see here that it honors p-scale. Okay, so far so good. So what else can we do with this? Well, in my older instance node, in my SOP, I could change the types that I was going to instance. I can do that here too. So let's go ahead and create a torus. But now we're not going to use the constructs that we used in the other. I'm going to create, rather than a switch node, we're going to create a merge node. And in this case, I'm going to feed in a couple of primitives. So I have my torus and my sphere. Let's make this torus a little bit smaller. Let's make it 25. And let's make it on the z-axis, so it's easy to see. Okay, well, now I want to put these particular objects in specific places. So how do I do that? Well, let's first try just randomizing them. So what I'm going to do is create a group expression. And join that in here. And I'm going to make every second one. So point number mod 2 equals 0. Change this to points. And I've created a group. Now, what I'm going to do is create another group by doing group combine, which is going to be what is not in that first group. So group, change this to 2, or actually, yeah, 2, and not equal to group 1. Okay, so now I have 2 groups. And what I can do is I can place that particular item in the second input. So in this case, I'm not going to use the entire stage. I'm going to take my prototypes and I can either list them or I can change these pretty quickly to, let's do Kermit 0 and Kermit 1. And then I'm just going to change this to Kermit Splat. And if I just change random, you will see that I've already got a random distribution of my toruses and my spheres. But what if we wanted to actually put them in specific places? So for example, into those groups of points. So the easiest way to do this is just to go ahead and create an attribute which is going to be specifying which group it is in. So let's go ahead and do that. Attribute create. And in this case, I'm going to work only with one group, group 1, and I'm going to leave the value to be integer, and it's going to be 0. I'm going to create another group, just alt dragging to create a copy. And in this case, I'm going to deal with group 2, get rid of group 1 there, and I'm going to change the value to 1. So I now have an index number for my attribute, which I'm going to call InGroup. So for each group, I've set a value of 0 for group 1 and 1 for group 2. So now when I come up here, what I can do is I can change this to index attribute and change this to InGroup. And now what I have is a torus and a sphere on every other one. Let's just turn off the size for the moment so you can see this clearly. You can see we have sphere, torus, sphere, torus, sphere, torus, and so on. So it's just a matter of going in and changing the expression that you set. So for example here, let's just do greater than 5. And so now we have the toruses on just the first 5, or greater than 10, and so on. So you can adjust according to what you feel is correct for your situation. So that's just an introduction of the copy to points, which is the instancer node, and how to add some variation to your objects that you're instancing. Thank you for watching. See you next time.